I'm Brian Wilson alongside Larry O'Connor.
My foreign policy will always put the interests of the American people and American security above all else. Has to be first. Has to be. That will be the foundation of every single decision that I will make.
Donald Trump yesterday laying out in broad strokes his foreign policy and national security vision for when he hopes will be the Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America. Joining us right now, Scottie Nell Hughes, old friend of our program, of course, regular fill-in guest here, and also a regular on pretty much every cable network ever created.
You can't swing a cat on cable news without finding Scottie on the air.
Also author of the book.
I don't really know what that means.
Of the book Roar. Hello, Scottie. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm trying to decide if that was a compliment or a backhanded insult.
Oh, my gosh. It's the greatest compliment. We are jealous. You know that.
Yeah.
Well, at least you didn't point out Saturday Night Live, because I know the two of you were such fans of theater and comedy, and at least you didn't point out, that the Saturday Night Live sketch has suddenly...
Can I just say this about that? You ain't nobody till you've been lampooned on Saturday Night Live. That is a badge of honor. Wear it proudly.
Well, let me just say this, Brian. There's three things we can agree on, and most importantly, that we need to make American grapes again.
American grapes.
Scottie, let's talk about your candidate's foreign policy speech yesterday. Some people are raising concerns over the term America First, putting America first, because America First, of course, was a slogan of many, people who were neutral during the build-up to World War II. What's your reaction to that criticism?
Well, I think it's been so long, Brian, Larry, that we've actually had America be put first in our foreign policy that it sounds a little bit odd, but it should not. Every other country puts their ideas first before they sit there and they go into any foreign conflict. Why should America be any different? When we're looking at things like NATO and other different programs and treaties that we've signed where we're pouring millions and billions of dollars into it and no one else is. And then we're not reaping any of the benefits that come from it. And you look at things like, and you look at NATO, and you look at things in Europe, all Mr. Trump is asking is, first of all, give us the respect. We'll go in there, we'll help you out, but give us the respect we deserve for it, which is something that is missing. And two, you also need to have a bigger chunk of the game, especially if it's on your border. So I don't think there was anything that, yesterday, whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, a liberal, a progressive, I think a lot of people could find at least a few points in there that they agreed with has been missing from the foreign policy of the current administration.
He also said that we should be friends to our friends and unpredictable to our enemies. And I think a lot of people listening to that said, that sort of makes a lot of sense.
I think it is, too, especially when you're sitting here. I mean, the great thing about technology today is everybody has access to it. You don't necessarily have to live in your local region to watch your local news. You turn on great networks, and you sit there and you see this entire plan laid out. And we have had a president who time and time again has literally gone on there and announced every date, time, almost to the exact key of where we're going to strike.
Yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true.
What do you think if Commander-in-Chief Donald Trump, when he's in charge of our military, how do you think things will be different within the first 100 days in terms of our rules of engagement and in terms of how we are approaching our enemies in the Middle East and in Afghanistan?
I think, first of all, we're going to do things that make sense. We're going to go after not only, if we do have to have a strike, we're also going to strike them where it hurts most, their pocketbook, the banks. We're going to go after the source of their funding, something that this president has been almost afraid to do for some reason. We're going to make sure that we shut off every chance that we have, every opportunity that we can to make sure that they're not being funded and using basically some of our own materials against our soldiers.
Can I just really quickly, just so I can more focus the question? Donald Trump has criticized the president because he has refrained from bombing because he's been afraid of killing civilians or hurting, the environment. Not a concern for Donald Trump? He's okay killing civilians?
Well, it's not okay killing civilians, but at the same time, you also have to realize that they necessarily, if they know that their family members are doing this, they need to be calling themselves out. And saying that might happen in that first 100 days is not anywhere near realistic. I think you obviously have to get a president who realizes what is going on. And any president comes in there and says, I'm going to go carpet bomb within the first 100 days is irresponsible, not knowing the national security secrets. That even a senator might not know, but especially someone like Mr. Trump, who is an outsider, who has not been given the access or the privilege at this point of all the security clearance needed to find out what exactly is going on behind closed doors. Now, granted, we probably get as much of a briefing on the nightly news from our president and the White House team as it is, as we do, as the president gets But at the same time, you also have to let the man actually get his hands on the ground, his feet on the ground, the right people put into place. And I think that's what you're going to find with Mr. Trump in the military. We're going to have people who actually know the right way to do things and not just go in there for PR stunts and invest 250 extra soldiers into Syria that does nothing to actually solve the problem and get us out of there and get us out of the region.
And yet, I know this was the hope of the Trump people. This would be the major discussion of what was going on yesterday. But Trump got trumped by the announcement of Carly Fiorina as Ted Cruz's running mate. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. As I sat here and I had to dig through my
I thought you
attic,
might, yeah.
Yeah, and I had to dig through my attic on all my talking points of Carly. I mean, first of all, this is unprecedented. You know, you announce your running mate if you actually have a chance of winning. And right now, this was, one of a Hail Carly, I think it's what the USA Today posted. I put it as a Hail Hospital because what he has just done is for all of these conservatives out there who are once again trying to brand him as the honest conservative. We had a major backlash happen when he branded himself with Kasich on Sunday and Monday and formed that alliance. That didn't work. I mean, Kasich got dropped like my junior prom date, like the day after. Now he's on to Carly, and I think soon people are going to remember that Carly was the one who took Sandra Fluke's side in going up against Rush Limbaugh. Carly is the one who time and time again went against Ted Cruz for the shutdown.
Wait. Scottie Nell Hughes, I love you. But yes. You're going to criticize Ted Cruz for aligning himself with John Kasich and Carly Fiorina because they're not authentic conservatives, and yet your guy has Chris Christie standing behind him every time?
He's not having him as a running mate. He hasn't formed an alliance with him.
He hasn't formed an alliance with Chris Christie? Are you sure about that?
He has an endorsement. He has an assertive, but he hasn't sat there and said, I'm going to tell people to vote for his folks, I'm going to sit here. I mean, he's not doing political maneuvers with Chris Christie. These are folks, there's kind of like your distant cousins. There's people you invite to your wedding, and there's people that's standing on your side while you're taking your marriage vows. Chris Christie's invited to the Trump wedding because right now, basically, he offers a lot of great things. But that doesn't mean that he's going to be his best man. What Ted Cruz did yesterday is align himself with a person who has failed in California, who has failed in business, who came in 7th in Iowa, who has sat there and taken every chance she could to line with the establishment against conservatives. And that's the reason why she lost the campaign. I don't see what Carly brings to the ticket except aligning herself with Hillary Clinton and going and playing this woman card versus Donald Trump, and it's going to fail because the people don't like it the conservatives don't like it with Hillary Clinton, and they're going to not like it with Carly Fiorina when she plays that card either.
Oh, come on, Scottie. Tell us what you really think.
All right, Scottie Hughes. Back in the nation's capital. We feel your presence, Scottie.
Give it 3 hours. You've been warned.
Oh, all right. You'll be here in 3 hours.
All
Good
right.
to know.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, Scottie.
Good stuff, Scottie. Appreciate it.